is over. We're done. We peaked about 12, 15 years ago, and we are on a down. And it's very hard for the American people, which I understand. I am one. It's hard to get your head around that. We've had a century of on the way up, which is a lot more fun than on the way down. But it does happen to every empire. We're only the latest. Look at the British, how far they've fallen. We're in that process. So the problem with the trickle down is, yeah, there might be more jobs, but they're going to be created in China. They're going to be created in Brazil. They're going to be created in India. They're not created here. We have the greatest level of corporate debt this country has ever seen, off the chart. The greatest level of personal debt, and we have the greatest level of government debt. Our government debt is now trillions of dollars greater than our annual output. That was not the case in the 20th century. It is the case now. What you're seeing is desperation politics. The whole Trump phenomena ought to say to you, wait a minute. These jerky moves that are out of whack. Right? In recent days, we have seen the decision of the Trump administration to kiss the war in Ukraine goodbye. We're not doing that no more because we can't afford it. We can't keep funding a war, which, by the way, the West is losing, as anybody who pays attention knows. All of these things are signs of what? Of a country that is in trouble and is turning on its friends because it can to save itself. We're going to take over, we're going to get your energy for nothing. We're going to, make you build the wall, you in Mexico. Look what the genius in a way of Mr. Trump is that without understanding it, because clearly he doesn't, he feels in his own way, the way lots of people do, that there's something that necessitates going way beyond what has been done because our need as a society is beginning to show up. Look, let me give you a simple example. The best electric vehicles in the world right now, but by uniform global agreement, are produced by something called the BYD Corporation, which probably most folks have never heard of, which is Chinese. BYD, the initials, BYD. They make the best quality, cheapest electric car and truck. You don't see them anywhere in the United States. Why not? Because Mr. Trump put a 27% tariff on them, and Mr. Biden raised it to 100%. So let me give you an example. If you wanted to buy a $30,000 BYD electric vehicle, which you can do, that's what they charge. That's why it's so good. You would have to pay $30,000 to get the Chinese to ship it here. Then you'd have to give another $30,000, 100%, tariff to Uncle Sam, or in this case, Uncle Don, in the way of a tariff. So it would cost you $60,000, which you're not going to do because you can get a less good Tesla or GM or Ford or anybody else at $40,000 to $50,000, which is less than you'd have to pay. But here's the problem.
I was going to say, because right now this sounds like a good plan to a lot of people. Trump has said, I'm going to do this not just to China, although he's going to double existing tariffs to China, obviously, right, but Mexico, Canada, everybody. If we intensify the tariffs, the scenario you just painted will happen, and people will be forced to buy U.S. stuff,
right? Which
then creates U.S. jobs, which again stimulates the economy.
All right, let me be the economist. Okay, that's good for the Tesla company, which I'm sure is purely coincidental, and GM and Ford and the others. Good. And they'll maybe be able to hold on to some jobs. Good. But now let's follow the bouncing ball. That's my job as an economist.
Yeah.
Everywhere else in the world, every company in Asia, Africa, Latin America that competes with an American company that has to buy a truck as part of its business will go to China and buy the best truck at the lowest price, $30,000, the best truck. No American company that competes with them will do that. And you know what that means? Those companies will be able to charge a lower price because they have better inputs than the American company, which doesn't. In the long run, that will lose Americans' jobs left and right as they're outcompeted by all the rest of the world that can go and buy and is buying BYD trucks. If you go to Europe right now and you go on the auto routes all over Europe, you'll see BYD cars and trucks. America is shooting itself itself in the foot. It may be great politics for Mr. Trump. I'm helping the auto companies and the workers. He'll go to Michigan and give us... Yeah, but what you're doing is diminishing the capability of the United States to hold on at a time when its footprint in the world is shrinking. If you take the United States together with the other G7 countries, that used to be the dominant bloc of the world, right? The United States, let's just enumerate them so everybody knows. Canada, Japan, Germany, France, Italy, and Britain. Okay? The G7. Oh, I'm going to add up all the GDP, gross domestic product, total output of goods and services of all of those 7 countries, U.S. and its major allies. And now I'm going to compare it to the gross added up GDPs of China and its allies, known now as the BRICS. Okay. You add up the United States, about 28% of world output. You add up China and the BRICS, it's 35% of the world output. We aren't the wealthiest bloc in the world. We're number 2. And that's new. And that changes everything. Every country in Asia, Africa, Latin America, trying to figure out who to go to borrow money from, who to go to cut a deal with, who to go to sell your exports, who to go to invest in your railroads. You know where they used to go? Washington, London, Paris, of course. Now they go there.
But they go to India and Brazil. And
that's right. They go to Sao Paulo, New Delhi, Beijing, and they ask, can you give us a better deal? And here's the news I got to give you. They get the better deals, and they go that way. And that's not going to stop. And you can rattle your sabers all over the place. You put the 7th Fleet in the South China Sea. Isn't going to change that. You've got to come to terms with that, but we are led by people who don't want to do that because nobody wants to be the politician who has to explain to the people it's over.
Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rakak Wadash. This your argument, Drillazil, back with another quick lesson. Yeah, it's simple and plain, man. And you know, this dynasty that this devil created, man, it's over, man. You know, starting first and foremost from my teachers, man, the elders, they've been saying this for decades, man. You know, prophesied the downfall of this wicked ass society, man. And we can see it. And this is one of their domestic economists, man, by the last name Wolf, Wolff. Look him up. So he's telling you, and they got to take an Edomite, self-proclaimed white person, to say this for these other, especially other simple-ass Negroes, to get it through their thick-ass skull, what the elders and the men that's in the truth been saying for a long time, man. It's over for these devils, man. You know. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the book of Isaiah. This is the book of Isaiah 47 and 1. And I'm going to start with the subtitle, which says what? Lament for Babylon, man. Lament for Babylon. It says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldees, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate, man. It's over for this place, man. This place was called the Golden Cup at one time. This place was the place that all these immigrants, you know, that was calling, you know, the melting pot, wanted to come and pursue the so-called American dream, which we know is an American nightmare. You know, this was the place at one time. You know, like this guy said, he said they peaked at around roughly 12 years ago, man. And now they're on what? Downward spiral, man. You know, it's over for this place, man. You know, it's coming up, like if you do the research, you know, historically, you know, empires last 250 years, if I ain't mistaken. And next year, which is 2026, will be the 260 year that this wicked ass society was created, man. You know what I'm saying? So all this is prophecy, man. All this is what? The working of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, man. So we know this this wickedness, man, will not continue on forever, man. And I'm gonna go to Salakia. I'm gonna jump down to verse 11. It says, this Isaiah 47:11. It says, therefore shall evil come upon thee. Let's go up one. This is the book of Isaiah 47:10. It says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thou with thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. So this devil, he think that he's number one. There's nobody on earth that's going to replace him, man. But you can see his empire, his desire to be dominant on a global scale is dwindling, man. And first is what? His riches, man. So and that's what he's built his empire basically on clay anyway. You know what I'm saying? These loans that is never been paid back. That's why you got the deficit, man. Like he said, what the government is trillions of dollars in debt. Then he goes to the the individual, they're in debt. So in general, this fiat currency has no real value, man. So basically, that's what these people's hopes and desire is. It's a facade. It's a mirage. It's a dream, man. And they think this money is real. But according to law, which these people don't really care, they don't, because they too caught up in a rat race. That's a distraction that this devil made anyway. You won't have time to actually think because the devil is using you, man. But in general, if you go into the law in terms of what fiat currency is, the Federal Reserve note, there's nothing more than like I mentioned, it's fiat, meaning it has no real value, man. So this devil's plan is being exposed, man. His frauds, for the lack of better terms, is being exposed, man. And people throughout the world see that, man. Let's read that again in the Amplified version. Is for you Babylon have trusted in. So like it, for you Babylon have trusted and felt confident in your wickedness, and you have said, no one see me. Your wisdom and your knowledge have led you astray, and you have said in your heart, which is your mind, I am, and there is no one beside me. Verse 11, therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it rised. It's like here. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it rised, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off, and destruction shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know, man. Yeah, this stuff is going to happen suddenly, man. That's why you see the increase. Like everything's getting expensive, man. The groceries, you buy a little bit of groceries, man. A couple of items, man. You hitting almost $60, $80, man. Easy. That's what's happening, man. It's going to be what? Hyperinflation, shrink. We're already in shrinkflation, to where things going to be scarce, man. These are the times we coming into, man. You can see the conflicts amongst these different cities. We're anticipating what people are saying. People are saying, martial law. They're anticipating that, and I heard from a source that when that devil Trump's over there, I think he's over there, and he said when he over there talking about a peace talk to pretty much ease the tension from one conflict, he's pretty much exciting another one. There's information that while he was over there, he sent, I think it was 3 fighter jets to bomb a nuclear power plant in Iran, man. So in an attempt to try to ease the tension, ease the tension between 2 countries at war, he increased it with another one, man. So that's what this devil is, man. He's the deception, man. So let's read the Amplified version. It says, therefore destruction, Isaiah 47:11. It says, therefore destruction will come on you. You will not know how to make it disappear with your magic, and disaster will fall on you for which you cannot atone with all your offerings to your gods, and destruction about which you do not know will come on you suddenly, man. So this stuff gonna hit these people suddenly, man. Especially when it comes to the necessities, man. They're gonna walk in, just like that 2019 thing. They're gonna find their shelves bare. That was just a test run, man. But that's exactly what's heading around the corner, man. But this time is no recovery, man. Let's go to Salakia. Salakia, give me 1 second. So,
accept this cup of tea. You'll be one of us. I'll write your recommendation.
let's go to the book of, that's what I meant. Let's go to Salakia. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah. 51. And let's read the subtitle. It says, Babylon judged for sins against Israel, man. Babylon judged for sins against Israel. Let's go to the point, which is in, let's go to start at 7. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51 and 7. It says, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad, man. That means that wine means the philosophy, the ideology, pretty much the force or coerce policies that this devil brought about or forced upon these other nations, man. Now these other nations are mad. That's why you got this other separate conglomerate of nations called the BRICS nations, man. They're tired of the bull crap that this devil has been playing, man. So all these other nations, man, they're drunk of that they drunk off that Babylon juice, and now they're mad, man. Let's go to verse 8. And it says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so be she may be healed, man. Let's go to the Amplified version, verse 7 again. It says, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, intoxicating all the earth. The nations drank of her wine, therefore the nations have gone mad. Babylon has suddenly fallen and is shattered. Well for her if you care to. Well for her if you care to. get balm for her incurable pain. Perhaps she may be healed. She can't be healed, man. And because the Lord have done this to this devil, man. You know, because this devil, just like all these other empires that ruled prior to this one, ancient Babylon, ancient Egypt, you know, the Assyrian, you know, Medo-Persian, and all those other dynasties that ruled prior, they had what? They had a time limit, man. They had a time that they came into power. Then they had a time that they came out of power, man. It's no different than this wicked ass society here, man. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah. 30. And I'm going to go to the point. Let's go to the point, which is 12. This is the book of Jeremiah 30 and 12. It says, For thus saith the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, thy bruise is incurable, and thy wound is grievous, man. So this wound that the Lord has put on this place, man, is incurable, man. Balm for her, man. You know, the book of Jeremiah 51 and 8, it says what? It says, suddenly Babylon has fallen and been shattered. Wail for her, get her balm for her pain. Perhaps she couldn't be healed, man. She can't, man. This place can't be healed. There's no coming back from the bruise, from this devastating blow that the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai had put upon this place, man. Because this place is destiny, man. Is designed to what? Come into existence, and to what? To come out of existence, man. You know, let's read on the book of Jeremiah 30 and 12. The Amplified version says, For thus saith the Lord, your wound is incurable, and your injury is beyond healing, man. So this place is no coming back, man. You know, these people right here still want to hold on to this facade of this American dream where these devils will continue to rule over you, man. You know, because there's no equality with these devils, man. These devils want it all, man. You could tell by these policies that they're switching up, man. You know what I mean? They think that, oh, it's just a republic. We get the Democrats in there. Nah, man. It's their whole plan in general, man. You know what I'm saying? It's the plan mainly for these elites amongst Esau, man. The self-proclaimed white men. Self-proclaimed white men. It's these elites. These elite families, man. Amongst Edom, man. They're really calling the shots. The rest of these people, like the joker that's in administration, he's nothing more than a puppet, man. You know what I'm saying? He's their puppet that they put in place, man. But they're really calling the shots behind the scenes, man, that you don't see, you know. But this place in general, man, is going down, man. You know, and I also just seen the video, I think they passed back in May of 2024, if I ain't mistaken, but I just seen it, you know, that they passed a bill making it legal for human trafficking, man. You know, they passed a bill, man. Human trafficking is legal now, man. You know why? Because they've been doing that, man. That has been like deception, man, under the guise of, you know, of humanitarian and all this other crap, man. You know, these different organizations, like they're going around the country talking about feed a child, but actually they was doing what? Commit acts of human trafficking, man. But now they said forget it. You know, we just going to call all this information is coming out. They're being revealed. Their nakedness, you know, their shame is being revealed. They just go ahead and policies, and these people are just going along with it, man. You know, if they really had some sense, they'd be what? They'd be up in the uproar, because that's why one of the things this devil is sending the National Guard, man. You know, he has a, you know, there's some people, you know, it's a pro and a con to it, you know, but they're anticipating civil unrest, man, because if these people were smart as they thought they were, a lot of people be in an uproar, man, you know, because this place is not what these people presented to be, man. Freedom of justice, equality is not like that, man. It's all a facade. Let's read this again, and I'll probably end this lesson by reading this last precept again. This is the book of Jeremiah 30:12 again. It says, For thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, thy bruise is incurable, and thy wound is grievous, man. Thy bruise is incurable. You can't cure this, man. Thy bruise is incurable, and thy wound is grievous, man. So that's the fate of this place, man. This place is going down, man. You can hear from this devil, or this Edomites. He's telling you, man. He said, America's over, man. You know, and I'm in and off there, man. Hope the body is edified. Next time I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem Rakakodash. This your Aki and Majula Zil, Lord willing. I'll be back with another lesson. Till next time, Shalom, Barakatham, and a Barber Ball, Shalom.